So Jaden Bryan is the one that's missing in the Tassie 12. Unfortunately has not made that 2 minutes. So we're set to rumble with what we've got. Watch that 24 card, it is lethal. Was great in its qualifying heats last night. Let's see if it can repeat it tonight. Set to go. Steps out of that line. We go 3 wide at the start. Sampson's going around the top. In fact, he might take his mate with him. Not too sure if there was contact made. So Nick goes back through to the lead, gives a bit of a wobble mid-turn. So Leanne would have seen that. Lane would have seen it and gone, well, I've got a chance, but made a little bit of a wobble. Kart's now starting to get used to the surface. Bill and the team have been working on it. It'll certainly get faster as the night goes on. Back to the 28 card. Glenn Ty sits third. Now makes it into second as Lane makes a mistake. Lane will be dark with that. It's gone basically second, back now to third. Have a look at Sampson on the top of the racetrack. Just out of that groove where no one else is. In no man's land. Hits a couple of those little ruts. You may have seen it bounce. Now up to fifth. Will make that position number 4. Started deep in the pack. Now runs himself. Make that third as he goes around the outside of the 22. Just got to be careful though, because the 69 card is Jason Kelly is also coming with the 24. So Jason was certainly getting lively, but look at the one behind him. That is the 84 car. So Brad's also in there as well in the 84. Just sits back in that third spot, makes a dive on the inside. That was a Hail Mary. So we're out in clear traffic. We're still 2.5, so that 2 laps on the board. Gray still out in front. Certainly not for much longer. Certainly got someone now throwing down the gauntlet. That is Glenn Ty in the 28. In fact, Glenn goes on by. White flag to come out. This is the last lap. Nick went a bit wider than he should have. So Gray and Ty, they go at it. Sampson now to second. Kelly back to fourth. So we'll close the book. Heat race number 1 for night 2. Goes away at kart number 28. So Glenn Ty takes it. Nick Gray will hang on for second in the 48. Back to the S24. To Chad Sampson will round out your 3. Jason Kelly, the E69, will take home position number 4. So what will it be like tonight? That's the yellow card on that inside. Starts out of 7. We're set for a start. Thanks to AirTech Tools. A little bit of fair rubbing back in the pack. In fact, they're 4 wide. Make it nearly 5 to the first corner. Up into turn 3 and 4 this time. Look at them going 3 wide, 4 wide at one spot. Drivers now starting to come to light. Gleason leading though in the Tassie 75. Timmy Orton is there as well in the 10, sitting second, but they're going to have to get a big run on because look at that 51 card. It's now starting to make a little bit of ground, but it's not where he wants to be. That's at the back of the pack, gets a bit of a hip and shoulder. We are yellow. I think you'll find that with the 70 entry, 76, that should be either Cameron Jones. Yeah, that's Cameron Jones. Unfortunately, the 76 was third a little while ago from Andrew Wood. So we're set for the restart. A couple of drivers going a little bit wider than they'd like into turn 1. Down the back chute we travel. Gleason starting to make roads. He's now put a bit of a gap between first and second. One on the inside, that'll be the 8 card. That's Andrew Wood. Now Andrew's on the move as well. Now sits 5th. Marcus Green just up the highway, just in front. But have a look at Liam now starting to make that Kart work. Blue helmet, that's what we're watching. Position number 4. Make that 3 as he tries to go on the inside. Hasn't got the run off the corner. Sits on the tail of the 9 entry. That is Anthony Ball. Anthony's just up the road. He'll probably look back there at one side there. That's how you do it. Slingshots up the inside. Makes it look easy, but then rolls up the shutters. Bit of a tap, tip tap. That's it. Tip for tat. Give him a fair shove. So Liam marches on by. Now up to 3rd. Gleason's still your leader. Orton sits in that 2nd spot in the Tassie 10. The M51 car now 3rd on track. 2 to run. Our leader in turn 1 and 2. Struggling to get traction. It's down the back straight. Orton, he's just looked up track and gone, hang on, that cart's a lot closer than it was just a moment ago. White flag out, 1 to run. Are we going to get a bit of a photo finish 1st to 2nd? Liam's just happy, I think, to sit 3rd. If he can make it up there, look at the ground it is made up. Out of turn 4. Gleason hangs on. Liam will hang on for 3rd, so they'll be happy. So Gleason from Orton in the Tassie 10. Liam finally gets to where he should be, but he should have been up a little bit higher. He now finishes 3rd. And back to the 8 kart of Andrew Wood, position number 4. Thanks to AirTech Tools. Our 125s now get ready for their mains. We take 20 karts into the final. 7 karts. So watch the Gatton entry. Was very impressed with Blake last night. Gets that jump. Will lead him into the 1st corner. Leads away. Everyone else is now giving chase to that A1. Just look at them all. About that mid-track. On the front straight. No, also one last night I was very impressed with the Kai Melly entry, car number 88. That is that 3rd kart on the racetrack. Was very impressed with Kai last night. Just wherever Kai put the kart would just look at it, rocket off turn 4. Where the crew have set this kart to come on. Rolls on the inside. Makes it look easy. Down the back chute. Still 6, still 5.5 to run. Gatton now switches back to the inside. Fair bump play on. Grace is also there in the 9. That is the M9. Just got to do the old Stephen Bradbury there, Grace, to stay tacked into the tail. Anything can happen. It is a motor race. Kai still leads the way. Gatton's not giving up, though. Hope you got a good shot then. They all tugged into the tail. Our top 3 now breaking away. Rock Hughes is now position number 4. That is the 15 entry. Jet Redpath in the T99 sits position number 5. Zane Rainey is 6th. And Liam Marks rounds out the tail in the 26. Up to the top turn. We're inside 2 to run. So Kai making it look easy. So the Catton entry is just falling back. There's probably a bit more distance than he would like. You'll notice that Grace is just keeping him in sight. That is the M9 sitting position number 3. White flag is out. Thanks to Benson Racing Karts. Bring us heat race number 1 for this particular class. 3rd heat for the weekend, or the 4th round for this particular class. So Kai takes it. Home in second with the A1. So Catton will take second, back to Grace in the M9. Then home in position number 3, back to 4th to the Y15 Rock Hughes. So WM88 taking the win. That'll be very good for the points. Bowl keep that pace. Brook alongside in the E4. We're going green. Very good launch. Ball into turn one. One trying to go through the middle of them. Realised there was a couple of karts there. Now we're going to go too wide. Hey, that's going to be one of the first. A formation lap under speed. Front straight. Give each other a bit of racing room. Harry survives it. Alexander in the 82 now slots into second. Lachlan Saxby sits in third. We've got a race out in front. We're almost 3 wide onto the back straight into the turn 3 and 4. Fair bump play on. I think you find that Harry's pinned the ears back. He's gone after him. He's taken the whip to him. Just as we say that, Alexander gets a bit of a... The kart just didn't want to play ball. He now went from second now to fourth. Onto the front straight. Harry leads the way. Cody now sits second in the 16, back to the 51. So Lachlan's gone back to third. Alexander's gone from second to fourth. Now comes in company with the Brooks entry, the Brook car number 4. That is sitting position number 5 on the racetrack. Just remember that the 82 car, Alexander Margot, was up there. So Alex, unfortunately, gone back a couple of spots. Just can't get on that turn now with them. 3 to run. All you got to do, Alex, is just keep that kart in front of you. 1 behind also now attacking on the inside. Switches down. Down the back chute. 2.5 to run. Cody just doing his own little thing out in front. All Cody's got to do is just protect those lines. He'll be hearing the karts. He will hear motors behind him. Don't look over the shoulder. He might get a surprise. Behind now, Alex has just found a bit more in the tank. We're inside that last lap. So definitely Cody's going to take this one. Cody Malley in the 16. He rockets down the back chute for the final time. And will take the win. Started out at 5. He now wins it. Harry takes second in the 1-2-5. Great job by Harry. Lachlan Saxby will take home position number 3. Alexander Margot will round out the Magro entry, 82. Would have been disappointed. Round out position number 4. Very shortly, Outlaws.
He's the only competitor I know that's still racing.
Well, so run away. Very impressive. See what Darren can do this time. They're 3 wide into turn 1. Make it down the back straight. Don't you love them going 3 wide? Not afraid, some of these karts. Bit of paintwork, fair bump, play on.
And this track allows for it. That's what's so brilliant about the racetrack here. Brad Caneen leading the way at the moment in the East Coast number 4. He races this class trying to win the Michael Beetham Memorial. He raced against Michael in the Clubman class years ago.
Oh, wow. I notice also the hold entries banging that curb in turn 3 and 4 as he dived in low. He's defending at the moment as well. If you look back through the field, Aidan Robinson there as well. Aidan's trying to bang on the inside. Darren will be aware of that. But mind you, Aidan's got to go defensive as well because there's one of them going around the outside.
There's a good pack behind him, but look at we have the challenge for the lead. Jason Loft, the only person who's won the Memorial more than once, and he's won it 3 times. 2 wins and a 4th, I think it was yesterday.
Yeah, he's done very well so far. He now goes on the inside. Oopsies. That was more than a look. That was a friendly love tap, that was.
Rubbin's racing in it.
Fair bump. Well, we're going yellow anyway.
One parked up on turn 3 by the looks of it.
Yeah, we just look on the screen if we can see the number.
Jake Morell, maybe.
Trying to swap the number on the...
Kart number 10, I think it is, Jake Morell.
Thanks to Queensland Speedway Kart Spares.
I think we lost another one as well. Drove to the infield. He's just behind the quads. 32 maybe.
Might be the 92.
92.
Might be the 92 entry that's there.
Jack Davola. It looks like it is.
Unfortunately, Jack's pulled infield. The hands on the hip, that says it all. We are green. We resume hostilities. 4 to run. Have a look at Aiden. Now, Aiden's just given Holt a bit of a tap up the backside. In fact, he left his autograph on the rear of that cart. He says, see you later. Round the outside. We're going to go 2 wide. Out of turn 4. This is battle for 3rd and 4th. Make a mistake now and you'll go back spots. Have a look at Aiden Robertson. Aiden's got the ears pinned back. He is going after it. On the front straight. Jason's going to have to be careful. We've got 2 to run. Make that 1.5. Down the back straight. Aiden's got it pinned. 1 lap of Borderline Speedway, 372 metres. He's got to be smooth. He might just come up short.
Just moved into 4th is young Lockyer Valley resident Heath Parker in number 9 as well.
Checker is out.
Well, Jason Loft, Kart 23, 3 out of 4. He's got to be the hot favourite going into the championship final later. But you can't discount any of them. The speed from the top half of that field is so close.
Is it what? So Jason gets it. Aiden Robertson now to 2nd. No Peter Green and the team, they'll be very happy with this. They are out on the racetrack. 6 laps up on the board.
What I love about this, it helps the kids with life skills, working under direction, working together with officials. Here we go, I'll leave it to you, Brad.
You can jump in any time too, Trev. Don't be afraid.
Look at them, they're coming out of turn 2.
Side by
They're
side.
having a good scruffle there, those front 3. They're trading a little bit of paint and plastics. But no ifs or buts. Our race leader coming down the stripe. That's current number 1, Bray Taylor. So he's got the upper hand at the moment. Tucked in behind him, Nate Wood out of the Maryborough Kart 15. And then Chase Fawkes in Kart 68.
So Chase sitting back in 3rd. Have a look at Chasey now. It's on the inside.
You look at the way those shoulders are hunched, the arms are out. Hey, that body language, he is focused, that kid.
Chase is just going, come back to me, come here, come here. He wants to leave an impression on the back of that green cart. By the way he's going, he will. He's still got 4 to run, 3 to run this time around.
And Nate Wood is not letting our race leader get away neither, and that's Bray Taylor in the Q1 cart.
He's going to have someone sneak up the inside in a minute. So Bray's going to have to go defensive.
The gap's there. Here comes Wood.
On the inside, and probably does get it. Just gets it. Went across the stripe, just leading that lap. Bray now sits back to 2nd. Chase will go, hang on, let's make it a 3-way fight, shall we? They'll get the white flag this time, Trev.
So now it's Taylor that's in the lead. Wood in 2nd. Fawkes in 3rd. And it's about to change again. Wood up there, 3 wide coming off at turn 2.
How about a photo finish just to really upset the lap scorers? Oh, one's been pushed on the inside, and I reckon that was Chase that was on the grass.
Using the whole track and a little bit more.
He almost ran over the quad bike. Checker is out. Bray will get it. I think they got the renter crowd out there somewhere.
So Bray Taylor in the Q1 takes a win from Nate Wood in the Maryborough 15, rounding out the podium. Chase Fawkes in Kart 68 for the sub-juniors.
I think at one stage Chase was actually probably looking at running on that grass, and that concrete, where it doesn't look real bad from up here, but when you start running into it, it does sort of give us a bit of a, it probably unsettles that kart. So he's probably got down there and realised, hey, this is not going to end well. Looking at that 3rd row.
Going to be some close running here with just some of those names. Callum Saxby, former junior Queensland champion. There we go, Brad.
Yeah, we all line into 1 and 2. Bit of a barge around the inside, outside, trying to all settle into a groove. Round the top, 3 wide almost. Watching that 9 car, that'll be one of the red path. That'll be the Chase red path. Trying to go around the top. They're still trying to go around the top. We now switch it back to the inside. He now comes out second on the racetrack. Has made up a lot of ground. Just making that outside groove come to him. Use the banking to his advantage. Our leader is out of there. Alicia's pinned him back. Catch me if you can. Still got 5. Make that 4.5 to run side by side for third. So Matt Swan also involved in that third and fourth squabble. Behind them it's on for young and old. Peak hour traffic of a Friday afternoon is back behind them. There's 2 wide. One going a little higher than he'd like. He comes back down the racetrack. I think you'll find that would have been the Australia 2 entry. So Gale had to sort of jump on the anchors to avoid the cart coming off the top of the racetrack. 2 to run. What can Redpath do? Still 2 laps. Alicia's just got to keep the head. We'll know who's behind. Third and fourth are pretty, basically you can lock them in for third and fourth. It's out in front though. It's not over. We are white flag, 1 to run. Can Alicia hold them off?
Alicia
going yellow.
Fettered a little bit of fuel last time down the straight. As you see their hands go down to the carburetor, they're tuning the jets, and as the engine picks up a bit more heat, if you've got really fine tuned, you want to just feed it a little bit more fuel.
We are under caution.
Alicia's been around for...
So Alicia would have just heard of via one-way communications, Trev, that the T9 is glued to your tail.
She'd be well aware of that after that, no doubt.
Yeah.
So she's going to be trying to get out of here quick, but the decisions are always tough. Which way do you go? This track is wide.
It is indeed, and of course, that's the thing. Alicia's just got to be careful now. Also, third now starts to come into this equation. Have a look at Redpath. He sized him up on the outside. He goes to the lead. Alicia will be dark with that. Gone from first back to about third. Does she hold on? No, she's gone to third. Swan is now starting to apply the pressure. We're 1 to go. Checkers to come out. The Tasmanian's going to go number 1. Redpath takes it. Swan will hang on for that second. Alicia will hold on for third. Back to the Saxby entry, will hang on for fourth.
Yeah, that's where you can certainly see that restart with the green-white checker. It resets things and can change it a little. Your decisions are imperative because everyone else can see where you are. You can't see. You've got to make your decision on which line to go.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, I feel for Alicia. I really do on that restart. Probably didn't need it. Was out in 8 on the board. If you just joined us at the racetrack, the final qualifying heats for this weekend. Pushing down the front straight, that's how you get on racing terms. Have a look around the outside as Sims going to work, pins the ears back. He was now sit on that outside groove on that right rear, gives him a bit of a kiss. Side by side. Liam leads it, Payne in second. Matros rounds out the 3. Sims is just 1 spot back. He's now sits fourth. Make that third. Up into turn 3 and 4 this time. They go side by side. That's a fair one. That's an inside pass. They nearly 3 wide. Onto turn 1 and 2. Sims gets away. A solid third. Got a little bit of ground to do. He's still got 5.5 to run. Anything can happen in this motor race. Liam still leads it. Payne giving chase. So Sam in the 68 now sits second. Caleb in third. Back to Andrew Matros in the 95. Now sits position number 4. In fact, coming under attack from the 27 car of Hall. Bit of swapping going on back in the pack. At the Jack Regan at the back of the tail at the moment in the 7 car. No answer for what's going up in front. 3.5 to run. Liam still out in front, and in fact is starting to get away. Sam's got the ears pinned back. He's certainly taking the whip to it. A matter of time. 2.5 to run. I think may run out of laps for that 68 Kart. Third is definitely, you can lock it in for third. Lock it in, thanks Eddie. Third will be locked and loaded unless we get a restart with 2 to run. Make that 1 to run. So Liam still out in front. Payne and Sims giving chase. Hall, Swan, Matros. Back now to 6, and Jack Regan at the tail in the 7. Checker flag to come out. Goes the way of the 4 entry. Back to the Y68. Back to Sam Payne, who finishes second. Back to the A1. So Caleb ends up third. Back to the 27. I think you'll find that it'll be Bree Hall that is, and the Y27 will round out your top 4. So Bree having a great run, started 8th, finishes in that top 4. Also the A1. So it's great to see Pickles back at the racetrack. I haven't found a Speedway kart that man does not own. Set to go. Orangey goes into turn 1 with 3 wide, make it 4, almost down the back chute. Bit of biff and barge going on deep in the pack. 3 wide, make it nearly 4. That's deep in the pack. First lap done and dusted. Orangey gets it, Williams. So Clinton the 69 third at the moment. Darren Holt in the Northern Territory 66 now sits 4th. Could be 5th in a moment if he's not careful. Couple going around the outside with 4 wide at the back of the pack. The 25 car, so Shane's also now starting to get involved in this. The 04 of Green, that's Marcus Green. Jake Campbell, Jason Loft in the 23, back in the pack, sits about 8th. Cunningham to 9th. Down the back chute. Still with 5.5 to run. Orangey out in front, all on his own. There is obviously debris on the racetrack. Looking across at our starters. Up down the back chute. Still 3.5 to run. Orangey getting away. So Liam got control. Got it by the horns. So Clint and Tony go side by side. Shane's now starting to get involved in the 25. Jake Campbell in the 73 position, number 5. Up into turn 3 and 4. Holt's gone back again and now sits 8th. Was at one stage sitting in that top spot. Now sits distant 8. Up into turn 3 and 4. White flag to come out this time for the Australia 1. Orangey. Back to Shane in the 25. So Clint and Shane, they swapped positions. Tony Williams sits position number 4. Checker comes out. So Orangey will take it. So Gutchberry in the 25. Will take home second, Clint Alton. So the 469 entry takes home third. Tony Williams in the S53 will round out your 4. So very good win to the Orange team. We are set to launch. And Georgie starts deep in the pack, the best presented car for this weekend. Great result. So Leisha Jade Swan, your leader down the back chute. Have a look at Georgie go to work. Pins the ears back. That pink helmet goes to work. Goes on the inside. You get shafted. Has to change the mind. Was going low and then realised there was a cart there. Down the back chute. Up into turn 3 and 4. Have a look at Georgie go to work. They're all giving chase. Leisha Swan out in front in the 7. But for how much longer? 5.5 to run. The Haylock entry, that is a 1:17. Now gets rounded up. Georgie's on a tear. Using that outside groove. That cart is like it's on rails. Look at it catch. Hand over fist. Round the top. Had to change the mind at the last moment. 5 to run. Make that 4. This is not over. Haylock is right. Chimes in. Georgie's gone back a spot. Has to get back on the groove. Back into her race. Try and get back to where she was. If she's not careful, she'll go back to 4th. Up into turn 3 and 4. Leisha Swan wouldn't be knowing on what's going on behind her. It is peak hour traffic. Keep the head. So Ruby Haylock started deep in this one. Now runs position number 2. Georgie's gone back to 3rd. Ricky Cunningham now makes an impression in the 32. White flag out, 1 to run. Down the back chute for the final time. We'll get the checkered flag. It is out. Taking that one is the Swan entry. So Leisha will take that one. Ruby Haylock will hang on for position 2. Dave 32 will round out position number 3. That is Ricky Cunningham and Georgie Moller. Georgie, unfortunately, takes home position number 4. Here, there, and everywhere. We are green. That was the 9 cart that was doing that. That was Zane Rainey that was going to the back. Then he went to the position outside 4. Sky around the outside of the 88, certainly motoring. Got one around in almost in the middle. That was a fair bump. It was almost a concertina effect. So Alexander leads it down the back straight. Kai Malley giving chase. Kai, there it goes on the inside. That effective move side by side. So Kai goes through to the lead. Brody back in 3rd in the 10. Back to Stoddard in the 43. That position number 4. You can find Jet Redpath not too far out of this one either in that Tasmania number 9. There he is. Jet sits back, position number 5. Trying to now go on that outside groove to make that outside, just wearing it in. Look at Jet, dives to the inside, comes from the top of the racetrack to the bottom. That concrete wall looks, from this angle, it looks like they're just about rubbing it. I'm sure they're not. Up above that white line, we call it no man's land. So Jet certainly on the move now in the 9. Kai still running away. Alexander Taylor Stoddart sits 3rd. Jet Redpath in the Tassie 9. Jet's still got a bit of work to do with 2 to run. Jet was up there at one stage. Brody still sits back in 5th. Back to Braden Orr. Zane Rady at the tail in the 9. Hasn't got an answer to the carts out in front. There is Kai. Kai's in another postcode. Looks over the shoulder. Is there anyone there? As Adele would say, hello, no one is there. Stevie Wonder would just say, I just called to say, where are you? Alexander, checker flag comes out. Kai will take the win though. In that very impressive 88. Kai come from deep in the pack. So Alexander hangs on for second in the 82. So Magro holds on back to Taylor Stoddard. So Taylor in the M43. Whiting. Liam Ornger will start deep in this one. He starts position number 5. It says on our screen. So Liam starts out of 7. They're set for a start. 3 wide, make it 5, nearly 5 wide as we go down the front straight. Up into turn 3 and 4. First lap almost in the books. 3 wide, back in the pack. Make it 4. That's a fair bump. That come from the Sims, the Caleb Sims and the T22. Has gone to the lead by that stage. Up on the front straight. Sitting in second is the 11 car of Cody Bryan. Liam Ornger sits third. Braden Whiting sits fourth. But for how much longer? Ornger now sizing up the back of the 11 of Bryan. So Cody's going to have the hands full in a moment. Into turn 1 and 2. One on the inside. That will be Braden Whiting. We are yellow. Trying to pass, set for a restart. We're going very quickly with that restart. Probably caught everyone unaware. Ornger was well aware of it. Now goes on that outside groove to side by side. Back straight. Up into turn 3 and 4. Ornger up on the high line. Just that higher groove. One on the inside will be the 25. So Whiting now on the inside. We're still with 3.5 to run. Ornger now getting away. Bryan and Whiting, they will swap paint backwards and forwards on the front straight. Have a look at the 25 card going to work. Braden Whiting's taken the whip to it. Halfway down the back straight, he dives on the inside. More than a dive, he's done the Hail Mary. He's come from deep. He might have left the shutters open though. Ornger says, thank you very much. You leave the invitation, I let you through, I'm going to let you back. Side by side, with 2 to run. Make that 1 to run this time. Caleb is out of there. The battle's on for second. Ornger sits back in third. Whiting now to second. First heat of the modifieds. Our last round for this qualifying heat. The 22 will take it. Braden will hang on for that second spot in the 25. Ornger will have to settle for third. In the 17, back to Cody Bryan in the T11. Darren Hogg will finish 5th. Eight on the board. Head up on the board. We're set for a start. Into turn 1 we go 2 wide. Down the back straight we go 3 wide. If you know, beg your pardons. Up into turn 3 and 4, side by side, middle of the pack. Onto the front straight. Your leader will be the 25 entry. So Shane's come from the clouds. Turnbull sits second in the 17. Robinson for third. Up into the top turn this time. We're still 6.5 to run. So Shane in the 25, your leader. Turnbull back to Redpath. Robinson sits fourth. Down the back straight we travel, side by side for second. Turble's coming under attack. Redpath is not too far out of this. In fact, goes around the outside. Now to sit that second spot. Sots it back down the bottom of the track. So Redpath on the move in the Tassie 9. Turnbull now been relegated back to third. Long way back to fourth. That is Robinson. And Nathan Marks at the tail of the 95. Out in front, Shane's showing him how it's done. A lot of distance, in fact, probably quarter straight lead between first and second. So the 25 car circulating in just under 15 seconds. In fact, his best lap of a 15.759, lap 4. So certainly got the bit between the teeth. So his best at the moment, as I said, a 15.759. Last lap was a 16. So he's just outside that 15-second bracket off turn number 4. White flag is out. Redpath does the quickest lap, a 16.134. Gap just over 2 seconds. Checkered flag will come out for the final heat. Goes the way of the 25. Go back to the Tassie 9 for second. So Chase hangs on for second. Brad Turnbull in the 17. So Turnbull takes on that third. Robinson will hang on in the 34 to round out your top 4. Field, unfortunately could not hear via one-way communications. We're set for a start. 8 on the board. We're set, we go. Final qualifying heat of the weekend. They give a wobble mid-pack. Our leaders side by side. Wood and Blackman go to work. Down the back chute. Up the front straight. 7 to run. Down in turn 1 and 2, our leader is the Blackman entry. That's Kart number 31. Back in second is Kelly Wood. Giving a wobble as she comes off turn 4 is Courtney. So Courtney just gave a wobble at the wrong time. Gave a squirm. Got to be very careful that doesn't go back a couple of spots, just goes up that bit higher on the racetrack, comes out of turn 3 and 4 onto the front straight, dive back to the inside. Courtney goes down on the pole line going on the front straight, then dives out to the outside just to confuse Kelly. So Kelly hearing an engine, go to dive low, might get a wake-up call, if not too careful. Julia not too far behind on the 5, back to the Marks entry, car number 89. And running out the field at the moment is Taylor Knight. Onto the front straight, 3 to run. Into turn 1 and 2. Down the back chute. Still 2 to run. Our leader has checked out. Some lap times of a 16.481, a 16.481. That was done on lap 5, so the last lap. So just in that 16-second bracket. White flag out, 1 to run. Our leader on the front straight. There goes second, third. So Kelly and Courtney locked in the horns for second. Our leader down the back chute for the final time. We'll take this one in a canter. So Rodham takes it. Back to Kelly Wood. Courtney Dormer takes home third. Also the A5 rounding him out for Julie Christians rounds out your top 4. All karts now returning to the pits. Jaden Bryan will start from 14 and 13 respectively. We're set, we go for the first of the mains tonight. 13, there'll be 20 laps on the board. Down the back should we travel. Liam's got a great lead, but they're giving chase. Chad is out after him. Pace yourself, field. Bit of hip and shoulder. We got a bump mid-pack. That's car number 91 that will go infield, so Liam still leads it. Look at him run away. Chad giving chase. Has he got the time? So Chad giving chase. That's car number 24. He's on the outside, just on that higher groove. We'll go back to the third place of Lynn Stace. So Lane sitting there in third in the 22. Glenn Ty for fourth. That's car number 28. Nick Gray in the 48 position, number 5 at this point in proceeding. Andrew Wood. Timothy Orton. Now Timmy's back in the pack. He's now 8th in the Tassie 10. Still 15, make that 16 to run. Now Liam's going to come up on the back of a bit of traffic. That blue distinctive helmet. They'll go out to turn number 1 and 2, 14 to run. Next time by, so we're 15 and a half to run. Turn 3 and 4, they get a bit of a clear track. The 2 lap carts now between first and second. They'll go around the 29 car, so Chad now weaves his way, his magic. We're still a long way back to third. Nick still sitting in third in the 48. Glenn Ty sits fourth. The 84 car, so Brad sitting position number 5. Andrew Wood 6th. There's our leader. Still 12 and a half to run. All he's got to do is just hold off. There's the 2 lap cars between first and second. First is down the highway. Erie on the front straight. Certainly showing him a clean set of heels this weekend. Chance has got no answer. Have a look at the lap time. A 15.512 for Liam compared to a 16.3. So it's certainly a cut above the rest. Come up on the back of some more lap traffic. They all break stride for him. Liam just threads the needle as he goes into turn 3 and 4. Still with 10 remaining. A heat race basically now for the field. On the inside, he hits that curb. Bounces it through turn 1 and 2. There's our second place kart on the main straight. Back to Nick Gray. Nick sitting third. So Brad's still holding Glenn off just by a little bit. The laps are getting quicker. So still a 15.5 is one for Liam. He's still holding that 15-second bracket. We're inside 10, under 10 laps remaining. Where is our leader? There he is in turn 4. Onto the front straight. Looking for second. So Chad still has no answer. As we said, 1 pull infield. Race roars on. Our leader on the front straight. There is our second spade car. It's got about 6 or 7 carts between first and second. There's our leader. So Liam has just taken to the, pinned the ears back and gone. Certainly a cut above the rest this weekend. So Nick and Brad. So Antis is sitting back there in position number 4, holding on to that final spot on the podium. He now moves to third. So Brad now moves into third spot. Nick Gray now goes back to 4th. Glenn Ty for 5th. Andrew Wood for 6th. Timmy Orton is now 7th in the Tassie 10. 4 remaining for our first one. Thanks to our great friends at Air Tech Tools. Been a supporter of this class all weekend. Up on the front straight. Still 3 to run. We go past the checkered flag this time. Well, not too far away. We're 3 from home. Chad's still holding on to that second, but he's going to come under immense attack. Back straight. Liam's got 2 to run. There he is. He's middle of turn 2. Back straight, 3 wide. Chad still for second. White flag out, 1 to run. He comes down the back straight. Checkered flag just about to come out and does so. So Liam will take it. Chad will hang on for second in the S24. Back to Antis in the 84. He will take home position number 3. Home in fourth is Nicholas Gray. So our top 5, Glenn Tyre will finish position number 5 in the 28. Go on, folks, put your hands together as he rolls through turn 4. One on Liam. Cara's just got to make that. So one more time, folks, as he goes around. Put your hands together. First A main done and dusted. Certainly been a clear cut all weekend. So Liam's just about to get that checkered flag. So Chad Sampson hangs on for that second spot. Unofficial at this point. And so one more time as he goes through turn 3 and 4. Gets a checkered flag. Expression session. Come on, folks, egg him on. That's how you do it. $20 is on the board. Let's go. So Kai to lead him in. Kay and Cody side by side on the front straight, 3 wide to turn 1. Bit of fair bump play on. Cat's down the inside in the Australia 1. Kai's got track position on that outside groove, very quick, 3 wide turn 2. Fair bump play on middle of the pack there, swapping paintwork. So down the back straight, we're side by side. Our leader, Kai, now look at... So Blakes will jump out. Here he goes. He tried on the inside. Couldn't get it done. Kai's just realised that, hang on, I've got a challenger. Down the back straight, don't forget it is 20 laps, 17 and a half remain. Settle into a groove. So Kai's just pacing the field. Catton's one further spot back in the A1. Plenty of laps. We've still got 16 and a half to run. Anything can happen in this motor race. Kart going wide. He now gets swallowed by the remainder of that freight train. Third car in the freight train is Harry Lumson at the moment in the 125. Harry's the start of the freight train. Have a look at them all bunch up. And around we go. One into the concrete. Kai says, wait a minute, wait for it. A little bit of that concertina effect. Gatton says, well, we're going to play that game. I'll leave my autograph on the rear of your cart. Down the back chute this time, 15 and a half to run. Up into turn 3 and 4 this time, side by side back in the pack. One on the move is the 16 entry. That is the Malley entry. So Cody's on the move in the 16. That is the green number 16, the green helmet, rolling now third on the racetrack. Up into turn 3 and 4, side by side, almost to the lead. Kai's just holding him at bay. Blacks has just wanted to go, oh, I had that spot, I've had me chance. I need another restart. Cody's also wanting that too. Grace is behind as well and wants a restart. So we're still 12 laps from home. So Cody sitting back third at the moment, holding him up, holding on that freight train. Back to the 9 entry, so Grace one further spot back, Rock Hughes in the 15. So Harry in the 1-2-5, not too far in that distant future, not too far away. James is also there, James Brook in the 4. That is the yellow Kart. Sitting probably position number 7. Solid gap between 6 and 7, so they can lock them in for those 2 spots at this point in proceedings as we're inside 10.5 to go. There's our leader, just pacing the field. Come up on the back of the 26. So Leon. So the Marks entry with the first kart to go a lap down. Rockets into turn 1 and 2. We're inside. 9.5 to run. What has the A1 got in mind? We're running out of laps. 8 remain. Up onto the front straight. Into turn 1 and 2. Just hold above the line. Just so. Up into turn 3 and 4. Battle's now on for third. Cody's got Rock and Grace behind. Down into 1 and 2, we're watching the battle for third. Our 2 karts out in front, they have long gone. They're in another postcode. Rock now slots himself into third. He's got probably laps on his side. He's still got 6 to catch. Cody says, hey, I was up on that third step a moment ago. I wanted back. Pockets himself in behind the lap car. In fact, he makes a mistake. Makes a mistake at the wrong time. As we say that, going back through, so Cody sneaks himself back to that third spot on the podium. We are red.
The leader, red flags. 88, red flag.
So just getting confirmation from race control. We are under starter's instructions. Chief Stewart has spoken to our kart drivers. That's right, the A1's got to be ready to go, and he is. Can he pickpocket that first corner? Can't pass until he goes past that cone, sticks it on the inside. Kai was waiting. Take a couple of laps maybe to get to speed. 5 to run. So Kai is going to pace the field. Battles on for third. Top 5 go to the scales after this heat, after this A main. Top 3 to the podium, or top 4 to the podium. Top 5 karts all go to Parc Fermé. So at the moment, our top 5. Gracie in the 9 will be your position number 5 at this point in proceedings. Cody Malley still sits that 4th in that green machine, the green helmet. Sits position number 4, but Kai has certainly pinned the ears back. On the front stretch, 2 to run. Down the back chute we travel. So 1 lap will do it. Battles on for that final step on the podium. Who's going to get it? Goes down between Cody and Grace. So Cody's just got to hold the line. Bit of a wobble by Cody. So he comes off turn number 4. Checkered flag is out. So Hughes will hang on for that 3rd spot. So Kai goes around, he'll pick the checker flag up. So our top 4, for our top 5 karts go to Scales. Also go to Park Ferme. One more time, Kai's going to grab the checker flag. No, coming back you go. So one more time, Darren. So Kai will grab the checker flag. This time. So just been also told Kai will win the Neville Britton Memorial Trophy. No, the family are happy on that one. Take the checker flag down the back straight. Come on, back straighters. Are they awake over there? Probably enjoying that bit of shade. So Kai will come on past. Round of applause. Win the Neville Britton Memorial Trophy as well.
National titles in the modified class. Trying to pick one up now in the outlaw class.
We are green. 20 on the board. 3 wide of the back. Make that nearly 4. Turn 1. Held to Skerrick. Oops. 1 around.
Is that Alicia? I think that might be Alicia Fielder in kart number 4.
Yeah, it looks like a 4 from this angle. But it was deemed as a racing deal. So probably gets a bit of a reprieve out of this. We are green. 5 wide at the back of the pack. Gotta love it, don't you? 5 wide at the back. No, beg your pardons. Down the back chute, first lap. Up into turn 1. Our leader's gone. He's in his own postcode. The rest, catch him if you can. Hold on the inside. Gets that 2nd spot. So the 23 Loft and Holt, they go to work. Fielder's now in that 3rd spot.
Heath Parker out of 6, moving up into 2nd at the moment, slicing his way through.
Yeah, making that inside groove work. 3 wide into turn 1. Normally 3 into 1 just does not happen, but it does this occasion. Being a smaller kart, 17.5 to run. Just makes it through. Loft still your leader. Darren Holt giving chase. One of the outside grooves now, that is Heath Parker. So Heath's come from nowhere. Now to sit 3rd. Going after Holt. Pins those ears back and away he goes. That outside groove is where it's going to be for later on. Karts will have to take note of this. That outside groove, Trev, is starting to come to its own. We are red in a big way. We are red in a big way. Drivers on the ground. Just looked up as Trev called red, red, red. Yellows are out. 16 remain. Wait for the green. Wait for the go for race control. Stack them up like sardines. Off turn 4. Holt just wasn't quite quick enough to go with him. That outside groove is where it's going to be. Down the back straight. Up into turn 3 and 4. One being a little bit adventurous around the top of the racetrack, making it work. Scott back in the pack. He now tries to wind it up. Going after position number 4 and 5. Sits about 6 at the moment. That's Tyler Scott in the 37. Back to the inside. We also look there for the forecast. So Fielder, be very careful. There's one going in the inside. Going to be attacked from the outside and inside. Going to have to play the game. Scott still sitting 6th. Not out of this yet. Top 5 go to Scales. So Brad in the E4 sits 4th. 12 to run. Still we wait.
Parker trying to get a run there on Holt. When they come into the corner, he runs right up towards the back of him. Then Holt gets a better run through the corner.
Yeah, you can just see it, can't you? Heath is just getting a little bit of a run. He will knock on the door in a minute. So as he comes down that back straight, that back of that cart certainly got bigger. He got a huge launch off turn 2. Now he rockets into that third, still in that 3rd spot, but he's certainly making an impression. Our leader, he's down the road. He's in Mumbana. That's where he is.
He's won 3 of these national titles in 12 years. Wow. So he knows how to do it.
As I said, he's in his own postcode. In fact, he's a straight between our second cart. Now comes on into turn 3 as our leader exits turn 4. So Holt and Parker, they're not too far behind each other. Still our lap times doing just over the 15.3. So Jason's turned up the wick. His best lap with the 15.394. So he's just lowered it under that 15.5 seconds. As I said, he's out on his own. 6 to run. Up there on the front straight. Rockets down the back chute. 2nd, 3rd. You can basically lock them in. And still down the back straight. Still on for the minor spots. 4th and 5th has not been decided yet. We take 5 carts to the Parc Fermé. Down the back chute. Inside 4 to run. There goes Jace in the 23. He's actually getting away. The gap is just over 3 seconds between 1st and 2nd.
2 to 3 tenths of a second every lap, and you're just seeing what that distance is on track.
Makes a difference, doesn't it? Makes that big difference. Because here's our leader coming on the front straight. So you can tell the distance. There he goes down the back straight, past up into the Ray Scott corner, turn 3. Exits turn 4 as our 2nd and 3rd go into 3. He's onto the main straight. White flag is out. So we come off turn number 4. Checker is out. So Loft gets it. Jason Loft, Darren Holt will hang on for 2nd. Heath Parker for 3rd. Jake Morrell hangs on for that 4th in the M10. Tyler Scott.
Well, what a drive there from Lofty. Now, the reason I said 4, this makes now 4 in the last 12 years, because that's the Michael Beath Memorials, but I think his first one was about 2015, so it's more like he's won at least half of the national titles he's contested in the last 7 or 8 years.
Wow. That's a great record, and tonight he just drove away. It's a great result.
Don't forget, give him a big cheer, folks. And he also wins the Michael Beetham Memorial Trophy for the 4th time, the only one to win it more than once. And, of course, the Australian Outlaw champion.
Yeah, we certainly head back to the pits.
I think that's it.
Yep.
Thanks, Brad.
No worries,
Awesome.
mate. Thanks, mate. Sub-juniors on. Sub-juniors on the racetrack. 12 laps duration. So Chase and Bray go to work. Now Bray's been extremely quick now, sitting 3rd. Getting buffered from pillow to post. He'll go down the back straight. He sits 3rd at the moment. He'll wide that kart up. Off turn number 4. This time onto the front straight. Your leader is Chase Foe. Nate Wood sits there. Bray Taylor sits 3rd. Cooper Mark sitting 4th. So Nicholas in the 132 sits position 5. Harrison Stace sits position number 6 in the 22. 10 remain. We're going to go nearly three wide on the front straight between our first 3 karts. Bray's decided now to take the whip to it. Get it working that higher groove. Just look at him reel in Chase's car. Then they go nearly three wide onto the main straight. Nate's just going, oh, let me in. Knock, knock, let me in. Does so now, forces the issue on the inside. Bray was there a moment ago. Now we're going to go nearly 3 wide. This is awesome between these 3. Stephen Bradbury, you could say, basically is in 4th. If anything happens between these 3 karts out front, Cooper Marks is going to steal this. We've still got 7.5 to run. They now sort themselves out. Chase still your leader. They come into turn 3 and 4 onto the front straight. Brace is trying to go high. What will he do? Just can't get that outside groove to work. You now try and switch back to the inside. Chase, we were listening to that car. You've got to be careful. Got to play defensive. He goes wide. Bray up the inside, side by side to the line. The gap was .097. That's what it was between first and second. 0.126 for third. So Nate in the M15. They go side by side to the line. 5 remaining. Nate's just got the nose chopped off. And around 1 goes. One around, unfortunately. You'll find that maybe Chase that unfortunately has been spat out. So Bray sent to the tail after being deemed the cause of the stoppage. We are set for the restart. 6 remain. We are green. Chase got the spot back. That now brings someone else to the equation. So Bray's got 6 to round them up. This will be a drive if he can do it. Up onto the outside. You can hear the crowd starting to get in this. They now bump as they come onto the front straight. They almost go all across the line. In fact, it was 0.007 of a second. There was a fingernail in it. Onto the front straight. 4 to run. Wood leads the way. Foe giving chase. Nick's out his position number 3, long way back. They're side by side. They're almost touching as they go down the back straight. Nate protecting that spot. If you want it, you gotta have to earn it. Onto the front straight. Mind you, while these 2 in front, they bang wheels and all that, third place is the cart that was sent to the tail. So while they slow each other down out in front, it lets the rest of the field compact and catch them up. Round the outside, side by side to the line. Nothing in it. Chase will lead that lap. Down the back straight. Can we have a photo finish? That'll be interesting. How would you split them? Onto the front straight. White flag is out. 1 to run. This is going to go down as one of the best races of the night so far. Onto the front straight. I think you'll find the Chasers cut back on the inside. Check it to come out. Ah, yeah. Chase will get it. Nate will be second. The Q1 Bray Taylor. Harrison States will be the 22. Will round out the 4. Come on, folks. Put your hands together. What a finish. Will it be absolutely ecstatic with that one? Chase will catch the breath. So Nate will settle for second spot. It's all at the moment. So come on, one more time, folks. Put your hands together. Ah, yeah. So Harrison hangs on for that position number 4. So Nicholas hangs on for that position number 5, who also go to the scales. Oh, come on, you can do better than that. Set for a start. We are go. A little bit of rubbing on the front. Into turn 1 and 2, down the back straight. Coming off the concrete with one of the carts at the back of the pack. All plain sailing out in front at this point in proceedings. Round the top, first lap in the books. Down the back chute. So Regan, so the 7 entry still sitting there in third. Swan sits third. Chase Redpath sitting 4th in the Tassie 9. Now winds it up on that outside. He's still got 17.5 to run. Anything can happen in this karting race. Anything can happen in this motor race. It's not over yet. Up into the top turn. Your leader. So Caleb's still getting away. In fact, the gap is 0.3004. So gap is starting to widen between first and second. Jack Regan there in position number 3 in that 7 kart. Redpath back a little further than he'd like. He now sits position number 5. Sam Payne to 4th. So our top 5 haven't moved as yet. Still a fair bit of racing still to be done. 15 to run. On the front straight. Almost line astern between first to 5th. 14 to run. On the inside, that'll be one of the Redpath. That'll be the 9 entry. Does a slide on the inside, makes it work. Now sits position 5. Going between 5th and 6th on the racetrack. Alicia Fielder there in position number 6. Now starting to make an impression. We come off turn 4, challenge for the lead. Swan now goes on by Caleb. We have a race out in front. Caleb actually goes back now to 3rd. All swamping that kart. Up into turn 3 and 4 on the front straight. Still with 12 to run. Payne your leader. Redpath now to 3rd. Sims has gone back to 4th. Fielder still 5th. Jack Regan in the 7 is now position number 6. We're just inside. 11 to run. Not over yet. Down the back chute. 10.5 to run. Up into turn 3 and 4. One around. I think you'll find it is the A1 that has gone around. Caleb is facing the wrong direction. Put 11 on the board. We are green. We resume play for our standards here at the title. Down the back, shoot and spat out. Cautions breed cautions. We're away. So we resume hostilities for our standards here at Borderline Speedway. Down the back straight, 10.5 remain. For our A main this evening around the top of the racetrack, they're 2-3 wide back in the pack. Swan your leader, Payne to second, Red past third. Jack in the 7 is now sitting position number 4, and coming into the equation is Caleb Sims in the A1. Matros sits back a bit further too as we look past this. 4th to 7th. Covered by a shoestring, nothing in it. 8.5 to run, they'll get the 8 laps remain. On the front straight. Payne still your leader, Redpath now to second, Swan's gone back to third. Jack Regan in the 7 now sits 4th. Caleb Sims is now 5th. Caleb certainly wants to get himself back up to where he should be. Is there any ill effects on that kart after it had a slight contact with the wall? Caleb now fading back. He's now 6th, make it 7th. Now it winds up on the outside as we go with 5, nearly 6 to remain. Down the back chute. Up into turn 3 and 4. On the front straight, Payne still your leader. Redpath Swan, they're your 3. Jack Regan, Caleb Sims, they're your top 5. Caleb certainly needs to get a move on. He's got 4 to do it in. Now starts to wind it up, takes the whip to it. Back on the inside, going to be very, very cautious. He doesn't get past. There are karts attacking from the back of the pack. Now our top 3 starting to get lively. 3 to run. Turn 1 and 2. Down the back straight. Has anyone got any answer for the Sam Payne 68 machine out in front? We're inside 2 to run. Down the back chute. Get the white flag this time. 1 lap left for our standards. Thanks to Max's tyres. Checker to come out. Sam Payne will take it. We are going yellow. We got 1 parked in the middle. So it'll be interesting now. Oh, that is a Redpath kart that's parked up in turn 4. Or middle of turn 3. And stack them off turn number 4. We are green. Turn 1, they rattle them in. Down the back chute, side by side. Shane's not giving Liam any inch. Liam forces him down on the outside. Shane's going to go back to the outside groove. Got to be careful though, because Jason's on the inside, the loft kart number 23. We're 3 wide back in the pack. That's 3rd, 4th, 5th. We are 3 wide, nearly 4. 18 to run. Down the back chute. So still Liam your leader. But for how much longer, how much pace has this kart got? Green still holds on for position number 3. Tony Williams is there in the 53, running 4th. So Clint in the 60, in the 469 sits position number 5. Up to the front straight. 16 to run. Shane just works the tail of the A1. Liam's got that car setting on rails, just holding that inside groove. On the front straight, 3rd now is Williams in the 53, back to Green. I was talking to Peter Green earlier about Marcus. Marcus also does a bit of sprint car racing. Had a bit of a rollover at Wangaratta not that long ago. Now jumped back in the kart. I was hoping to see Marcus here next weekend. Motor won't be ready to run next weekend. That is the Green entry, sitting 4th, maybe even 5th. On the front straight. Audra and Shane still going at it. Williams. Holt now sits in 3rd, back into 4th. Green now goes to 5th. We have got one parked on the apron. That is one of the 17s. You can find that will be Alan Swan. 18 from home. This to settle it. Or just going when he wants, and Shane just gives him a tap. Turn 1 and 2. Down the back chute. 3, 2, almost 2 or 3 wide and back in the pack. Position 4 back is like a freight train. A very high speed freight train that's all over the show. Like a politician's speech, it's all over the show. Back behind them. Our top 3 have ran away. Liam, all he's got to do is hold out for the next 12 laps. Shane's got other ideas. Shane wants it badly. Can he upset the Aussie champ? Got to be careful though, because Tony's not too far away in the 53. Not out of it by a long shot. While those two can't slow each other down, Tony will just gain momentum. Gradually take a bit of time off every lap. He'll catch him. So our top 3 almost locked and loaded. So Shane is just working the tail. Turn 1 and 2. 3rd at the moment is Williams. Darren Holt, the Northern Territorian, is now sits position number 4. That is the NT66. Sits back position number 4. Goes to work. Jake Campbell now coming into it in the 73. Michael Cunningham. Best result for Michael so far. Sits 6th in the order. Just 1 spot off the top as we get very, very close to a race lead change. Liam's just watching that down the track. You'll see that lap kart. We're 7 from home. Liam goes to the inside. Just got to be careful where that lap car goes. Just gets out of the way. Shane would have been wondering, go low, go high, go high. Does so on the front straight. We're still inside 6 to run. Liam just protects that line. Down the back chute. Shane winds it up. Goes high, ducks back down to the inside. Uses the banking as a slingshot. 5 to run. Have a look at Shane. He's gone high. Just so he can't see him. Down the back straight. We're still inside 4 to run. As I said that, Campbell is now starting to make it a 3-way tussle. Campbell now to 2nd. Shane has been relegated back to 3rd. I told you this could happen. Campbell's come from nowhere. Round the top. Challenge for the lead. Campbell goes on by. Ornger back to second. Where has this kart come from? Campbell's come from the clouds. Came from nowhere. 2 to run. So Liam now gone back to third. Trying to fight back. He was on that top step. Now he's got to fight his way back. We're inside 1 to go. White flag is out. Turn 1 and 2. This is going to be a great finish. Checkered flag to come out. How about to put your hands together for Jake Campbell. Shane will hang on for second. Liam for third. Darren Holt will hang on for fourth in the NT66. And Tony Williams will round out your 5. Wow. He came from the clouds. He came from deep in the pack. Told you it could go any way, and it has. Oh boy. We're set for a start. 20 on the board. We are set. We are go. It's swamped at the start. 4 wide. Kai missed that one. Missed the boat. Down the back chute we travel first lap. What's Kai got in mind? He's got to wind it up to the top part of the circuit. Around the top. They're 3 wide in places on this circuit. So Travis Stoddard, Taylor Stoddard will be your leader in the 43. Alexander's giving chase in the 82. Georgie Moller. So Georgie not too far off the pace in third at the moment. Kai's back in 6th. We are yellow. They all look at each other. Set for a start. 19 remain. Resume hostilities. Maybe a few little bit of incidents there as they went on the restart. Look at Kai going around the top, taking the whip to it. He sliced past 4 karts. He now makes his way to the top. He's certainly coming. He's now position 7. This will be a great drive round the top, nearly 4 wide. 18, 17 to run. On the front straight. Our leader, 3 wide, are back in the pack. We're watching that 88 kart go to work. Pindy is back and away he goes. Up on the front straight. Our leader is still Stoddard. Kai Malley now coming after him, the 5 car. Georgie's there as well. Brody in the 10. Alexander not too far behind him, but we're watching that 88 kart that's on rails. Kai now to second. Come from deep in the pack. Now to rocket into second. Laps are on Kai's side. Taylor be looking, Taylor be wondering where this kart's going to come from. Kai's just a little bit further above. Next groove up. We are yellow. We are yellow. There's a 117 that has come to the route. That is the Rudy. The Haylock entry has come to grief in turn 1 and 2. This is exactly what Kai needs. Taylor be wondering, What am I going to do? I know I've got a very fast kart behind me. We are green. Kai goes to work on that outside groove, covers that inside. Brody there in the 10, now sits third. Kai to the inside. Thank you very much. Side by side, hip and shoulder. So Kai's come from the back. Taylor now goes back to second, but then returns serve. Back on the inside, gets squeezed. Not much room between there and the grass. We are red. We are red in turn 4. To run. Set for the start, restart order. Down the back chute we travel. Kai now starts to wind it up. Stoddart gives chase. So Brody in the 10, he sits position number 3. Alexander in the 82 for 4th. Braden Orr now sits position number 5 in the 35 entry. That's our top 5. Up into turn 3 and 4. The thumb screws get applied. Taylor just rides a little bit hotter than she'd probably like to. But mind you, as you say, that Brody now making that outside groove work. Up into turn 3 and 4, 10 remaining. On the front straight. So Kai doesn't know what's going on behind. Probably a good idea if he doesn't look over that shoulder. You'll see 2 karts coming at warp speed. Round the top goes Brody. Brody now to second. He now just gets it done. Gets a wiggle mid-turn. Side by side. In fact, they're probably swapping a little bit of paintwork. We are yellow. We are looking for something maybe on the racetrack. Quickly done. Well done to officials getting them in their right order. Down the back chute this time. We are still 9.5 to run. Turn 3 and 4. Onto the front straight. So Brody now gets a sniff at second spot. Alexander back to Braden. Jack Lunsden now comes into the equation. Don't forget, Jack started back in the pack. He started position 14. He now runs 5th. Great job. Now on that final step of the podium. That's how, as we say, that one coming infield. Kai just sets the pace. Brody just over a second lead, 1.192. That's what the gap is, 1.1 seconds between first and second. Long way back to third. In fact, it's 1.7 seconds back to third on the front straight. So Taylor now gets back to third. Still with 5.5 to run. So Taylor can still get back into that second spot. Needs a little bit of time. The gap between that, between first to third, is 2 seconds. Doesn't sound a lot, but 2 seconds in racing terms seems like an eternity. So there's our leader, 4 to run. Back in the pack. Guys just steadying the ship. Up there in turn 3 and 4. Will come up on the back of the lap kart. Negotiates it in turn 1 and 2. There's our second kart going down the back into turn 2. Now off onto the back straight as our leader gets into turn 3. Almost time for the checker. For our junior standards. White flag out, 1 to run. Down the back straight. So Kai will take it, Brody for second, Taylor will fight the way back to third. There's Taylor. Finishes in third. So all top 5 carts now go to the scales. So one more time, rolls around. So Kai will come and grab that checker flag. So Kai takes the checker flag. Ultimate A main on the racetrack. 20 on the board. We are set. We are green. 4 wide at the start. That's from back in the mid-pack. Turn 1 and 2. Back straight. Up into turn 3 and 4. 19 to run. On the front straight. First lap in the books. Sims is your leader. Shane will give chase. Red Panthers third. Oranger back to fourth. Up on the outside. All into turn 4. Bit of hip and shoulder between 4th and 5th. So Orange has gone back. He still sits 4th. Red Path not too far behind him. Sits position number 5. Still 17 on the board. Sims is running away. Down the back straight, got to be careful. Shane was certainly looking there earlier tonight. Darren Holt sits third in the 66. Hasn't got an answer to our top 2 carts at this point in proceedings. 16 from home. Oranger, Red Path, Brian. We'll walk at an entry, so that's the 92. Sits currently 6th. On the front straight. We're inside 14 and a half to run. Your leader at the moment is Caleb Sims. Shane is giving chase. Now Shane is not too far. He hasn't let that cart out of sight. Back to Darren Holt, Liam Oranger. So Liam's now back in 4th. And a very comfortable 4th at this point in proceedings as we got 13 to run. On the front straight. Look at the sparks coming out of one of the carts down the back straight. You'll see them as they rocket down the back straight. Have a look at that cart. It's about mid-pack. Up on the front straight. Trying to spot the number on it. Doing a little bit of angle grinding. Not too sure what car it is on screen at the moment. That'll be the 4 entry. So Brad's got a bit of sparking at the back. Probably nothing to worry about, but it's certainly creating a spectacle, talking point. Holt's now sitting in 3rd. Has been all race. But he's now coming under attack. That is from Liam Oranger. So Liam now trying to get back on the inside. Does just about get there. That is for position 3 and 4. Looking back in the pack. Chase Redpath, position number 8, back in the pack. We're still 8.5 to run. Our leader getting away, the 22. There he is, down the back chute. Rocketing into turn 3 and 4. On the front straight. 7 to run. Bit of daylight between first and second. In fact, there's just over 1.3 seconds between first and second. Come up on the back of a lap cart. Negotiates it easily. Down the back chute. So still Holt and Orchard found at 3rd and 4th. There's our leader. 5 to run. So down the front straight. So Caleb still your leader. We'll come up with a bit of lap traffic. So Caleb still leads the way. Shane just hasn't got an answer. There's our leader in turn 3 and 4 with almost 2 laps to run, 3 to run. We are going yellow. So 4 laps is all that is required by our top 5 karts. We are set, we are underway. Caleb probably didn't want this restart. All into turn 1, down the back chute. Coming under attack as we go into turn 3 and 4, 3 to run. Motor race is not over yet. Cody Bryant now starting to come into Tassie 11. Darren Holt still sits that 3rd. Orange sits back there in 3rd. So Darren Holt 4th. Cody Bryant now rolls into 5th. In Kart 11. It's not over yet. White flag to come out next time by. We are yellow. One on the back straight. There'll be the 75 entry. White checker is the call from race control. Caleb lets him go, holds him up, and then stands on the throttle. Look at the take off. Shane wasn't ready to go, unfortunately missed the start. Caleb played it to perfection. Orange slots into 3rd. Darren Holt, Cody Bryan, that's our top 5. White flag out, 1 to run. Down the back straight. So Caleb will come up victory. He gets the big W. Shane will take home 2nd. Liam Ornger for 3rd. Darren Holt hangs on for 4th. Cody Bryan will be your 5th home. Chase Redpath hangs on for 6th. The E4 hangs on for 7. Brad Turnbull for 7 for make that position 8. Donovan Meaney will round out your 9. So Caleb's going to come around. So just waiting on official placings. And of course we'll go to Scales top 5. So Caleb about to get the checkered. Expression session, and that's how not to do it. Reminds me of someone else who did that. All drivers, final A main for the weekend. It's been a long road to get to here. Front straight. Line astern. So Courtney resumes hostility where she's been for most of the evening. On the front straight. So Courtney leads away. Rodden will sit in second. Back to Kelly Wood. We are yellow. We have one facing the wrong direction. That'll be the 115 entry. So Kelly Wood, who was third. Kelly's just looking around going, what am I doing here? Oh. Rejoin the girls. We're set, we're away. Go down the back chute this time, we will resume. So Courtney will just conduct the band out in front. Everyone else give chase. 18 to run. Turn 1 and 2. Third place is now locked, so Tennille will slot herself into third. And where they finish in this, every car will of course go to Scales. Down the back straight they travel. So Rodden will certainly now apply that thumb screw. Bit more pressure. Courtney's just got a cart that's going backwards and forwards. Trying to slingshot out of turn 3 and 4. Catches up a bit of ground. Up the top of the circuit. Down the back chute, 14 and a half to run. Up on the front straight. So Courtney still doing what she does best, pacing the field. Down the back straight, 13 and a half. We're only about 6 laps in. The pace out front is being controlled. Tennille just hasn't got an answer. That is the third car in the shot. Long way back. In fact, it's straight between second and third. Daylight between third to fourth. So out in front, we definitely watch our 2 karts. Rodden will now start alongside. Blackman gets alongside. Side by side to the line. So Blackman takes it just. In fact, there was .021 between first to second at the line. That's not even an American Express credit card. They go side by side, almost then to .0 or .156 between first and second. Blackman just a little bit higher up the racetrack. Dormer's just slipping back to that second spot. Tennille Marks goes across the line. They come up on the back of our 4th and 5th cars, not too far down the highway. We're still 8 to run. So our leaders going down the back chute. There they are. Coming up on the back of Kelly Wood and Julia Christians. Taylor and Julia having their own little battle for 4th and 5th. So our leader goes around up the top. Onto the front straight. So our leader still with 6 to run. And as we say that, one around. I think you'll find that work. We are green. So Blackman, Marks and Knight, they're your 3 left on the racetrack. Up into turn 3 and 4, 5 to run. Going to turn 1 and 2. Down the back straight. 4.5 left in this final A main for the weekend. Onto the front straight. So Blackman's still your leader. 0.766 of a second between first to second. Just over a second down the highway. So Taylor Knight sits third. Two to run this time. Our leader starting to make a bit of ground. Leads by just on a second this time. On the front straight, white flag to come out. So Rodden Blackman will go down the back straight for the final time. So Tennille will take home second. Taylor Knight rounds him out. So top 3. So what a result. They started with 6, we now finish with 3. So takes that black and white, that flag around one last time. Now I wonder what the expression session's going to be like. Do we encourage? You want to see a donut? One says yes, that's only one. You need a bit more encouragement. Head out to the pits. Don't forget, everybody is welcome in the pit area for presentations. We look forward to seeing everybody in the pit area for our presentations for all the